It starts at 3:12 a.m. A radar operator in Alaska sees a light, moving too fast to be a plane, too high to be a satellite. Another dot appears, then 5, then 20. He calls his superior. Within 30 seconds, the phone rings in Washington. The red phones light up in Moscow. Nobody says it out loud, but everyone knows this is it. In the next 15 minutes, the fate of humanity will be decided by a handful of men, half a world apart, staring at glowing screens, wondering if this is a mistake or the beginning of World War III. At 3:12 a.m. Eastern Time, NORAD detects a mass launch from Russian silos near Murmansk and Kaluga. The data streams in, infrared satellites confirm multiple heat signatures. For the first time since the Cold War, Defcon 1 is declared. In Moscow, the Kremlin receives a similar alert. Their own early warning network reports American ICBMs leaving silos in Wyoming and North Dakota. But something's wrong. Neither side had ordered a launch. Both believe they're under attack. Both prepare to respond. In bunkers, miles underground, keys are turned. Launch officers await the final code. Gold authenticated. Once it's entered, there's no going back. Inside the Pentagon, the president is rushed to the Situation Room. The chair of the Joint Chiefs stands pale. "Sir, we have confirmed launches inbound from Russia. How many? Dozens, maybe hundreds." At the same time, in Moscow, a general stands before the Russian president. "Amerikanцы have launched first. They're coming for us." There is a moment of silence, the weight of history pressing on both sides of the planet. One order could end the world, and then it's given. Execute Plan Omega. Launch authorization confirmed. At 3:21 a.m., the first American Trident submarine fires its payload from the North Atlantic. In space, hundreds of warheads arc across the black void. Each missile carries multiple re-entry vehicles, splitting mid-flight into dozens of targets. The world's air defense networks light up like Christmas trees, but no one is celebrating. From Poland to Alaska, radar screens go white. Command centers lose contact. Cities below sleep, unaware that the sun rising over the horizon isn't sunlight. It's fire. At 3:41 a.m., Moscow is hit. At 3:43, Washington, D.C. disappears from the map. In under 5 minutes, 60 million people are gone. The first nuclear exchange in history has just destroyed the centers of civilization. The survivors don't understand what happened. Phones are dead. Satellites blinded by EMP. The internet collapses in seconds. Military units, cut off from command, act on standing orders. Retaliate, secure, survive. In Europe, NATO forces launch counterstrikes from submarines in the Baltic and Mediterranean. In the Pacific, U.S. bombers scramble from Guam and Diego Garcia. Heading west, China activates full nuclear readiness. Their satellites detect inbound trajectories. But from where? Russia or America? Nobody knows anymore. Missile defense networks cross fire. And within an hour, India and Pakistan are drawn in. A third of the planet's arsenal is now airborne. The nuclear firestorm expands beyond control, a chain reaction of fear, automation, and human error. 4 hours into the war, the second wave begins. Submarines, the silent killers of the deep, launch what remains of their payloads. By now, every major city on Earth has been targeted at least once. London, Beijing, Paris, Delhi, Seoul, New York, Moscow. The glow from space is brighter than daylight. Radiation clouds spread with the jet streams, circling the planet. EMP surges cripple the last remaining satellites. The world goes dark, forever. In hardened bunkers, government officials huddle around dim lights, writing messages that no one will ever read. Emergency broadcasts echo through static. Seek shelter. Do not go outside. But there's no shelter strong enough, no wall thick enough. No system capable of surviving the collapse of everything. It's been 12 hours. The firestorms have burned themselves out. Ash fills the sky. Day and night no longer mean anything. In the ruins of what used to be Moscow, survivors dig through radioactive dust. In Kansas, a handful of farmers find shelter in an old grain silo, listening to a shortwave radio that still crackles faintly. This is emergency broadcast station Alpha. If you can hear this, stay underground. The radiation level is critical. But the signal dies moments later. The nuclear winter has begun. Temperatures drop by 15 degrees in a single day. Rain turns black. Crops die. And humanity, the same species that built empires, wrote symphonies, reached the moon, now struggles to light a single fire. The war lasted less than 8 hours, but its shadow will last for centuries. Over 2 billion people died in the first day. The rest will follow slowly. Hunger, cold, radiation. There are no victors, no nations left to rebuild. Just echoes of a world that once was. But it didn't have to be this way. All it took was a false alarm, a technical glitch, a single human misjudgment to end civilization. We built these weapons believing they would keep us safe. Instead, they became the instruments of our extinction. The greatest irony of the nuclear age is that the world will not end because of hate, but because of habit. A protocol followed, a button pressed, a system obeyed. This story isn't about fear. It's about the line between control and chaos, and how thin it really is. Because when the missiles launch, there's no turning back. This is Crisis Timeline. Stay aware, stay prepared.